but they need to generate content. So,
Yes.
Colin, help us with that. Help us with what you think they can do, what's important, and how can they do it easily?
Sure. To go back to one of the things you said about me in the intro, that I'm a master of the English language. It's one of those things. I don't think I am, and what I've done, what I think I'm good at is I've studied structures of stories that are sort of used over and over again in like writing jokes or short articles or debate arguments, political speeches, just structures that you can use to say basically any kind of piece of information, but it will automatically have an attention grabber at the beginning and a little bit of a rapport and community building bit at the end, and you sandwich your information in the middle, and people just kind of feel like it's good, right? It just sort of contextualizes it based on the way that they read it and the way you set it up and present it. So I use formulas like that a lot as a shortcut, because rather than needing to be creative or coming up with some amazing language or a great turn of phrase, if you sandwich your piece of information that you need to deliver between something that grabs people's attention and maybe makes them chuckle a little, and then you follow it up with something that lets them know that you and they are together in some kind of way and everything else is apart, it's a powerful message that's going to stick with them, and it's going to bring your audience closer into what you're doing, no matter what it is you have to say. Did that make sense?
Well, it did, but let me put you on the spot.
Sure.
You know I'm going to ask you for an example.
Of course. So the main, in addition to wanting to use these templates for effectiveness, I'm also kind of lazy, so I have one master template that I wanted to distill it down to one template that was easy enough to use over and over again, but it was flexible enough that it could be about anything. So I can use the formula to sell consignment antique furniture or SEO services or an info product or whatever the case may be. And the formula is one, I call it the Viking Velociraptor, just because all 5 steps start with the letter V. But I've taught it before for free on shows and things, so I'm happy to share it here. The way the formula goes is step 1 is you verify something that the audience has seen or observed or thought. And step 2 is to validate the way that they feel about it, validate their response. And then step 3 would be the Vantage that setup provides. That's where you stick whatever it is you wanted to actually talk to them about. Step 4 is to share or display common values that you have with your audience. And then step 5 would be to point out a villain somehow, either to show how you're letting them throw rocks at their enemies, or somehow stick it to someone or get revenge on someone that they don't like. And it doesn't have to be a specific person, like we're talking about Google as an entity and SEO. A lot of times for SEO people, Google is some sort of boogeyman, as if it's one will rather than a huge organization with hundreds and hundreds of people that work there, right? So like you can sort of demonize Google as a bad guy, or the government, or PayPal, or any of these huge entities that affect your market, right? So the formula again is verify, validate, Vantage, values, and villains. And if you hit those 5 points in any message, it'll feel like a sincere, personal message. It'll connect with your audience, and it'll actually deliver the information that you wanted to give to them instead of just bouncing off because they're thinking of something else.